Hello everyone, it's Jenny. I'm here to play Dysfunctional Systems, Episode 1, called Learning to Manage Chaos. This was recently on sale in Steam for 99 cents. Let's see if I can get the... Okay, that's better. Alright, let's go ahead with the story. This is Episode 1, as I said. Let's see how it goes. Working families across Brighton are no doubt issuing a collective sigh of relief today, as the legislation for a minimum wage increase of 50 cents passed in Parliament early this morning. That's not much. This bill comes after public outcry that the majority of Brighton's citizens are without enough income, too poor to make ends meet, after recent increases in food prices. The change brings minimum wage for workers working over 40 hours a week to 367 hour. Wow, I cannot read correctly. The change brings minimum wage for workers working over 40 hours a week to $3.67 an hour, and workers working less to $3.20. Although welcomed by most, there's been stiff opposition toward the bill from foreign investors, primarily those from Gabria. Major Gabrian companies, such as UJKO and Norkley, have warned that wage increases would hurt Brighton's economy, arguing that the new rate would force more layoffs as they cannot afford as many employees. President Barnaby, who has been supportive of the legislation since its inception, retorted that well-fed employees were more productive, and reminded UJKO and Norkley representatives that employing a Brighton citizen was still over 16 times less expensive than employing a citizen of their home country. Weird. Stocks did, however, take a moderate tumble after the approval of the legislation. President Barnaby assured citizens that the drop should only be temporary and that the markets will begin to rise again after the initial shock has subsided. Interesting. With this minimum wage increase, Barnaby has finally fulfilled the last of the campaign promises made during his 1523 campaign trail. Whether or not he manages to accomplish his 1527 goals remains to be seen. With that, we conclude our hourly business report. Next up, the latest in entertainment news. Without a doubt, I still find it strange. Everything. Strange. Bizarre. Really, if these worlds were nothing like my own, at least then I could appropriately flip out. But no, they're similar. Too similar. I keep slipping into a feeling of normalcy, only to have that sensation of strangeness slap me across the face at the first sight of something weird. There are plenty of weird sights around to do so, too. Like, for instance, these advanced-looking televisions in this decrepit-looking building, which I can only assume is an electronics store. They are the first things I've seen since arriving in this world that actually look somewhat new, fancy, even. Up until now, everything has been old, ramshackle, and in various states of disrepair. It makes me feel very nervous. It's just so profoundly disturbing. Will I ever get used to this? I think that I will. Some year or decade from now, if my mentor is my words, I cannot speak them. If my mentor is any indication. Look at him, standing there so aloof, as if this were just another day to him. Which, yeah, I suppose it is. Well, what do I know? Nothing. Winter. Yes? What do you think? Think? About what? About what we just saw and heard. Oh. To be honest, I wasn't really thinking of anything about it. Winter, we've only just started. Please try to focus. Yes, yeah. I will, sorry. It's just... Well... I'm still finding it a bit hard to wrap my head around the idea of destructive conflict. That's enough. Well, of course. I was the same when I first started out. There aren't that many examples of conflict at all in our world. Sorry, my headphones fell. The headphones. There aren't that many examples of conflict at all in our world. Right. You might even find it surprising that war is actually a word in our dictionary. Totally. Yet still, Winter, you'll come to understand conflict very well, don't worry. After all, you'll be doing nothing but dealing with it. Lame. Well, anyway. You read the material in this world, right? It should have been your homework. It was. Then tell me what you think. Perhaps it's time to admit that I didn't spend much last night reading the material so much as turning the pages and glancing at them. I was tired and honestly found watching the bubbles of my soda significantly more captivating than the words in those files. The way they merge with each other and crawl up the glass is really incredibly pretty. You're certainly pondering rather hard there, Winter. You must be whipping up a dazzling answer. Brighton is poor? That's a fact, reader, not a thought. Sorry, what I think is... nothing. Look, what I've learned so far in class doesn't seem to be particularly applicable to this world, so I'm finding it a bit difficult to care. How can I care anyway? Besides all that, this is also disconnected from me. Plus, it's only my second world, for heaven's sake. I'm still flummoxed by the fact that other worlds exist. What am I supposed to think when they just toss me into these places, give me a pat on the back and say, Be on your way, merry child. Wow, my words just meshed there for a second. Actually, here's a thought. What kind of a name is Brighton? Ah, that's a stupid name for a country. It sounds more like a town. The town of Brighton. Population 40. Ugh. Blah! I'll scream blah at Cyrus and any other mentor who questions me like this. I mean, I won't, but I would, and completely, totally, and so would. For now, though, an awkward and wobbling smile is all I can muster. Blah. Oh, whatever. What do you think the next step is? Alright, cool it, Winter. Just remain calm and genuinely consider the question. The next thing to do, we need to learn things that weren't given? Right. Sir, I couldn't ask my last mentor. Why are the dossiers we get before we come to these places so thin? Dossiers? I think that's how you pronounce it. Let me know in the comment section if you know exactly how to pronounce that. Thank you. Well, it's because they are simply comprised. I'm sorry, that was read incorrectly. Comprised of first-hand information. Noteworthy things that mediators have gathered through observation and gleaned from prior trips to the world. You're lucky you even have that much. Sometimes you get sent to worlds that have never been visited before. Let me tell you, it's never fun when a surprise dragon flies up from behind a mountain, or when you realize that the person you've been talking to is really just a convincing projection Or worse, a robot. And once you start going into systems that threaten your definition of what being a world even means, good luck. Then again, only experienced mediators have to deal with such things. You won't be going to any unvisited worlds. At least definitely not yet. Oh. Another question. Why revisit worlds that have been helped? I mean, once order is in place, everything should be fine, right? I mean... Cyrus frowns, but his expression seems more complicated than that. I say that because his frown isn't alone. In his eyes there's a glint of irritation directed at no one in particular. As any glint, it's gone in a second, replaced by another thing that I can't quite decipher. Part of me is curious as to what it is, but most of me doesn't care. Wow. Nice. I'm gonna be playing this for God knows how long. I'm just gonna get the initial part of this over. I'm gonna save really quick though. I'm gonna save it really quick. Resume. I'll probably stop this at some point. I haven't decided when. I'm feeling a bit, what's the word? Drained. Yes, drained. I will be playing a bit of Smite today. Gonna teach a friend of mine how to play Hunbots. Not my best or favorite character necessarily, but we'll see if he can get the hang of it. But yeah, back on track. Part of me is curious as to what it is, but most of me doesn't care. Here's the short answer. Because chaos cannot be contained or removed. Although it can be lessened by us, it will rise again over time. Hang on a second. Still a bit too loud. Okay. Alrighty. Sir, are you saying there's no point to anything? No. Chaos is not inherently bad, Winter. It is the means by which all worlds are born and continue, even ours. Furthermore, it is the spark of evolution. It plays a key part in those mutations which allow life to grow and improve itself. Never thought of it that way. Very scientific and self-explanatory, at least to me, but I'm no scientist. I'm a partial of science geek or nerd, whatever. I'm not entirely sure how to categorize that myself at the moment. Can't think very clearly. However, for life to succeed, there must also be order. It's like... Well, it's like how cells must work together and organs must serve their purpose. That makes sense. You see, a system where chaos is stronger than order is likely to collapse, just as an organism which has succumbed to disease is likely to die. I can understand that scenario. It's the same with liver disease after you drink too much, for extended periods of time, or possibly even alcohol poisoning. It's a very systematic malfunction. If the malfunction goes for too long, you die. That's pretty much as simplistic as that. That's the only way I can understand it. In short, we are not here to eradicate chaos, Winter. We are only here to keep it in check. Oh. Anyway, where do you think we should go next? Well, someplace with a lot of information, I suppose. Allow me to get thinking about such a place. Oh, surprise! I'm done! The answer's so obvious it's insulting. After all, I had already gone there during my first meditation. Mediation. That is in meditation. The library! No, that's not... Why would we go to the library? I mean, I get you're only a thought. Libraries can tell you a lot about a world's history. And I would bet there are computers there too, considering the world ran. Unfortunately, that kind of knowledge probably wouldn't be so useful for be helpful. But, man, my words get jumbled up again, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, that kind of knowledge probably wouldn't be so helpful for this job. What about scholarly journals, reliable sources? She's got a point. You never know with it unless you do extensive research on something. No, I think we should find a bar. Huh? It's... What is it? Oh, well, I just had a thought. Are the bars here special like library bars? I figured maybe you'd like to drink as you would. Maybe? Winter, stop thinking about libraries. Sorry. Bars here should be normal, as far as I'm aware. We'll head there because bars are where people go to talk. Cyrus then turns to walk away, as if it is the next natural thing to do. Well, it's not. I stand incredulously, cannot pronounce that word correctly, incredulously, for 3 full seconds before realizing that we're supposed to move ahead. And I like the visuals so far. It reminds me a lot of animes, probably like East of Eden, I guess. Or some, you know, it also looks a little bit like Bleach, with the particular style of the characters, which I like. Well, here we are, walking along. Is this a street? I've seen a few vehicles pass this by, so I guess it is. Or I should say that I've heard them, for they have been loud. They are pretty sorry excuses for transportation, though. They have these grotesque metal protrusions up out of their fronts, which billow dark smoke and occasionally drip liquid. As if that weren't bad enough, most every frame of these things has looked like a legend team went wild on it. They were such bewildering things that they distracted me from the matter at hand. Cyrus. Is he not going to elaborate at all? He just walked off after telling me that people talk at bars. Thanks, Cyrus. I would not have guessed that people talk at places. How does that look? Isn't he supposed to be teaching me? But how can I learn anything with such vague statements? Well, Winter. Well. We need to get to the ice cream parlor, Winter, because they sell food, Winter. Well, goodness, how annoying. And hasn't he been annoying since orientation? Pestering me and staring at me? An annoying and unlikable person, this Cyrus. With a reputation at that, I hear. I mean, seriously, don't people talk everywhere? Sir, don't people talk everywhere? Isn't that the sort of things humans are known for in general? Well, aren't you snippy? Oh crap, I just ruined everything, didn't I? I need to stop thinking so much, or I'll let my thoughts slip out. Arg! I shouldn't have said it like that, he's my superior. I bet he'll lower my grade now. I'm gonna save again real quick. Yes, overwrite. Alright, resume. Sorry, sir, I didn't mean to be. It's just a bit frustrating when you don't explain yourself properly. Oh, I thought it was mostly self-explanatory. Not really at all, sir. Well, maybe it is, but I don't really know anything about bars. I've never even seen the outside of one. Ah, that's right. We're really not into drinking back home, are we? I don't know if I would say that. Perhaps not everyone is the same. Well, bars are generally a place where people go to unwind. And the alcohol loosens their lips, so to speak. They'll talk about almost anything, themselves, their troubles, and often the root of the problem will involve what is troubling the world's people. It's a useful place to visit. Speaking of problems, what was the issue of the last world you visited? Pollution. The world was kind of oldish and much less practical than ours. They kept throwing out their stuff wrong and had bad ways of making energy. Their water ended up getting poisoned and a lot of them were sick. Long-term project, I assume. Yeah, my mentor had already been working on it for a while before I came. I think it was around 5 months. That's so. Glad I'm assigned short-term projects. It'd be something awful to get stuck with the same problem for nearly a year. I agree, but I don't know about the way you just said that. How long did you shadow her? 3 days. I see. You've never had alcohol, have you? What? No, sir. I've never. I mean, I'm too young. Oh my gosh. Oh, that picture that popped up. What the fuck? Oh my god. I stop in my tracks, and he stops to turn. His lips curl up in a kind of ho expression. Hoing my innocence. At my innocence. Right to be defiled. It is creepy. I feel uncomfortable. There's a shot in. Should be playing on the background with this one right here. If you know exactly what I'm referring to with Schadenfreude, please let me know in the comments. No, you wouldn't do anything against the rules, would you? Is that a test? A trick? A challenge? No, sir, I would not. His smile broadens at this. Wow. I was about to say brightens. His smile broadens at this, and my discomfort increases. You know, Winter. Each world you visit will have its own laws, its own customs, and its own social graces. You're going to have to learn to make your mind a little more flexible if you want to succeed. I'm going to have you drink some alcohol at the bar. Excuse me? I don't want to. Besides, I am underage. It's against the law. Well, Winter, in many cultures, you'll be expected to drink, even at your current age. Unfortunately, this is absolutely true, and I'm actually quite disgusted with it. But I'm not going to say anything further on that. You should be ready for that. And you should know the effects alcohol has on yourself and others. What? He's telling me to break the law? Whoa, no. And it's completely out of my comfort zone. I probably hate alcohol even, right? I do not want to do this. I mean, I know we're in another world, so it's not really the law, but no. This is my conviction. I was born and raised to a set of rules, and I think it would be best to live by them. It is like what I learned in class. One might think it best to try absorbing all aspects of culture met. However, it is not advisable. In absorbing a culture, you run the risk of becoming absorbed by that culture as well. Mediators should not forget who they are. I am Winter Harrison. I will not be shaken by this. I don't think I can do that, sir. Winter. That's an order. This is part of your training. If you do not drink alcohol at the bar, I will be forced to fail you. What? Then, isn't... That's not allowed. You can't make me do anything. I most certainly can. I'm your mentor. Funny how that seems to be an interesting thing. Only for today. Only for today, and you aren't always going to be that. Besides, you can't threaten me because I have my convictions, and I won't forget who I am. And it's slow. I need to save really quick. I have a bad feeling. I'm right. I can tell I'm right because my cheeks are flushed, my heart is pounding, and he looks wounded. Let me save this real quick, and I think I'm gonna end it here. It's too laggy, and yeah. Let me know down in the comments section about any pronunciations that I've gotten wrong. If you want to see more of this, episode 1, I will be uploading it when I can. Uploads have been taking too long recently. Instead of it getting done within 1 day for the 30-40 minute videos, it's taking 1 to 3 days. So I apologize in advance. Anyways, till next time, guys. Bye!